With 4 races remaining on the 2014 calendar, it's now or never in the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge. Historic Road America is seen for round 9, an iconic circuit known for its elevation changes and high-speed sweeping corners that's been entertaining race fans for decades. With championships on the line, when the green flag drops today, the gloves will come off and the action is sure to heat up. The Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge right now on Fox Sports. Up next on Fox Sports, it's coverage of the Continental Tire Road Race Showcase from Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Round 9 of 12 on the 2014 season. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Till, along with Calvin Fish and Dorsey Schrader. Two guys certainly know how to go fast around this iconic racetrack. This is it. It's the run for the championship. It starts right here with only 4 races to go. If you've dropped back a little bit throughout the season, now is the time to get back in it. Road America known for being fast, providing great racing, and that means plenty of excitement. I expect to see all of that here today, Dorsey.
Everybody loves to run at Road America. It is, in fact, the longest racetrack we race at just over 4 miles. Extreme high speed, like you said, the elevation change, a lot of fun. But with 52 cars running, 2 classes, you have to leave one another room. An incident here by nature is always big. It's not something you want to do. Secondly, your percentage of full throttle around here, because of the long straightaways, you use a lot of fuel. And you can't make the mistake of running short on fuel when you got a 4-mile lap in front of you.
Dorsey, certainly a lot on the line here today, but a great story continues to evolve at the top of the GS point standings. Young 18-year-old Trent Hinman continues to lead here. He has a 15-point lead over his teammate John Edwards, as well as the racing duo from Stevenson, the vastly experienced Ron Liddell and Andrew Davis. Now, those Camaros have been on a tear of late, 3 wins in a row, including a brilliant win at Indy. So Hinman can hear them coming, and today his car will be started on the pole by his BMW factory pilot John Edwards, his teammate. He's going to turn it over to Trent. So a lot of pressure on this young man, Brian, but so far this year, he seems to be up to the challenge.
No, he's been very much up to the challenge, and you talk about it. There's experience all around him, both in teams and in drivers. He's going to have his hands full. For more on Trent Hinman, here's Chris Neville.
Well, Brian, you talk about that run to the championship, and I know when I was 18 years old this summertime, the last thing I was thinking about was trying to win my first championship, but that's the position that Trent Hinman is in. And Trent, you've got some guys behind you, just 15 points behind you, that have been in this position before, so what do you need to do to hang on to this lead?
Well, you know, it's tough. It's been tough all year. All these fall line guys have really done a great job to give us a car to keep running up front, but I think the main trick for us is just to keep taking it race by race, session by session. It's a really competitive field. A lot of great drivers, you know, amateur, pro, you name it, they're out there, and they're running after us. So just a huge thanks to everybody at Fall Line. John's doing an incredible job and helping me out, keeping the car up there. Huge thanks to all of our sponsors, Trimtex, Sirocco Zemo, Atlas Acon, and DFL Interiors for all their hard working, putting us in this position. But overall, it's really been an incredible year. We're loving every minute of it, and I'm really excited to keep it going.
Well, he and his teammate, they're starting on pole today. The guys chasing him in this championship, they're starting 5th. Brian?
Well, it's close in Grand Sport, but Calvin, it's even closer in Street Tuner as far as points go.
It really is, and the big story is a switch to the Cayman for Eric Fossart. Championship leader Wayne Nonamaker sits there in second place. He's had 3 runner-up finishes this year, but don't count out Lafuge and Cook. They won here last year.
Well, the Porsche Cayman's very quick throughout the season. For more on a Cayman driver, here's Jamie Howe.
Well, Wayne Nonamaker has had those 3 runner-up finishes in just the last 4 races, and they've closed the championship down to only 6 points. But Wayne, the team that you're chasing made the switch to the Cayman, same car that you're in. How does that change the way you guys attack this race today?
It really doesn't change it. Our team sailing machine is really strong. Our guys have done a great job researching over the whole season, learning about the car, what makes it fast, what makes it reliable. And I'm really confident in the team, the strategy, the crew, everything. We've always had great setups here at Road America. You know, we were on the pole last year and leading in the prototype race late in the race. So I'm really confident. I think I've been eating my team sailing hot dogs lately, so I'm ready to go no matter how long I need to drive today, and I think it's going to be a great race. Excited for today. It's a beautiful racetrack.
It was Will that qualified the car. He's starting 23rd. The guys that they're chasing, Eric Foss, Murillo Motorsports, they're qualified 5th.
Fueled up on Salen's dogs. No better way to be than here at Road America. We talk about how long, how fast, how challenging this racetrack is. Dorsey, give us a lap.
Well, you see Elkhart Lake just north of Milwaukee. Like I said before, this is a big racetrack, 4.048 miles in length to be exact. 14 corners. The unique aspect is that we have 3, not 1, very long straightaways. Extremely high-speed circuit. You have to mind your manners around here, boys.
And our Monster Track map shows you just how long some of those straightaways are. And then you've got challenges like the Carousel and the Kink. You'll take a look at the Continental Tire starting grid in the hat at the top of the screen. And as that scrolls, see the field lined up, ready to go racing here at Road America. As it does roll through, you'll look back in ST and you'll notice that your pole sitter is the 04, the Porsche Cayman of Remo Rossetti and Adam Eisman. They almost made it 2 in a row at Indy last time out, Calvin, just 2 weeks ago, but a mechanical problem on the last lap. They've dropped back, but they'll start from the pole here at Road America.
Yeah, they're the hottest team in ST right now, and that Cayman has certainly been very strong throughout the field.
There's a look at the ST field lined up, ready to go. Grand Sport will start just in front. In fact, the green flag waves, and we're racing at Road America. And the BMW already under attack. It's Ford Mustang to the outside, the 158, and then tucked up right behind the Camaro. And I could see the hand signal in there by the driver saying, hey,
oh, Hinman's wide. He is wide. He pushes out wide, and oh boy, a lot of sideways action there through the apex area, Dorsey.
That was a lucky save up front. There was multiple contact back there. Woo, that was a hot first lap. Watch ST.
It was close in Grand Sport, but right now John Edwards leads in his BMW, and at the line, the Porsche Cayman, the 04, so fast throughout the latter part of the season, leads to the green, but he's got his hands full of Honda power to the outside.
He does. The gunslinger, Chad Gilsinger, there on the outside in the Hart-powered Civic. Tries to look, and these guys are banging too. Very similar to the GS there. A little bit of contact there in turn 1.
Goes to the inside. That was contact. They banged off each other's wheels. Now, I mean, that's two laps. I can't talk.
I told you it was exciting. You can't even talk. Right now, it's Rossetti leading in his Cayman, but a long straightaway now. The long run out of turn 3, down to turn 5. Be interesting to see if Chad Gilsinger can get a run and get a bit of a draft down into the braking zone.
Yeah, they had a win at Kansas, and there's been a bit of an up-and-down season for the Hart team, but look at this. 3 abreast here on the charge down to turn 5.
Oh, contact. This is going to be big. This is going to be a big crash right here. So far, it's only 3 cars. Here's one coming back out in the middle.
Wow, they try to go 3 wide. There's a little bit of a kink there.
That is so fast right there. These cars probably somewhere around 125 right at that point in mile per hour.
And we go full course caution. The last 3 years here as we've run the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge at Road America, we've had 16 full course cautions between those 3 races, and you can see it gets busy in these braking zones, and that's exactly what happened on the way to turn 5.
I think it was all that shuffling around, really, Calvin, that everybody posturing, trying to get in line for the brake zone.
See the 33 Nissan trying to work his way back. Jones behind the wheel trying to get that wounded Nissan back with the hood up. Now take a look a little further back.
Yeah, it's back of the frame, about the 3rd row back, where that straightaway isn't straight. As you come down to turn 5, you're bending around a little bit, and I think these guys were posturing, trying to get in line for the brake zone, but they made contact. And once it starts there, if you're behind it, you're in it.
92 involved there, massive damage.
Another one of the Hart entries.
Kevin Bain in this car. Big front damage on that one.
Yeah, sharing that car with Petey Cunningham. So experienced in front-wheel drive cars from Honda or Acura, but it all goes full course caution before we ever complete a lap. One of the Compass 360 Honda Civics involved as well in the melee down in turn 5. But for John Edwards, he'll lead back to the stripe, and he had his hands full at the start between the Mustang and the Camaro right behind him. We talk about experience. You look at the red, white, and blue BMW, and John Edwards actually waved as they came down there and said, let's drop in line, let's behave. But
then it shuffled. It gets a stack up going. And look at the save on the Mustang on the inside.
Yeah, Rasitano, I think that was coming there completely crossed up. Looked like Edwards was giving a little bit of wave off. He's got Matt Bell, his old teammate from Stevenson, right behind him. Didn't look like the track had a lot of grip there either. Everyone's running wide through there either. That or carrying way too much speed on cold tires.
Matt Bell actually dropped his right side wheels in the dirt.
On board the 158.
Oh,
that was a really heavy hit.
That was right in the eye.
Billy Johnson behind the wheel of the Mustang, and that allows the 32 to slide on up and in.
Looked like that hit was just behind the left rear of Edwards' car there, so he may have got away with one. If that hit had been on the suspension, he could have drama right now.
Let's take a look at the melee that happened down in turn 5 in ST. One more
Okay,
time.
better view from the rear. See, these cars now are 4 wide, and they're trying to get into the brake zone. This is right there's a bump, and that starts it in motion. This is the worst wreck you can have because you're not in a corner, nor are you in a brake zone. You're at full throttle, and you're crashing in a straightaway.
They were 3 wide there, and the car in the middle just got pinched. It looked like the 2 outside runners just came across on him, didn't give him enough room. And then everyone else slows down, Brian, and there's further carnage behind.
My question is, the Porsche Cayman that was involved in there, was that the 56 of Jeff Mosing and Eric Foss? Because he was behind the 3 Civics that were side by side, and Eric Foss is our championship leader in Street Tuner. That would be huge if there's damage to that car. Crew's already going to work as the caution flies early from Road America. It's the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, round 9 of 12. There's plenty more and plenty more excitement coming your way right after this.
The Caymans.
For you guys in the truck right now, I don't know why it's set up this way, but whenever you talk, it completely cuts out program. I'm not getting you in one ear, it's just completely cutting out program.
Hey guys, checked in with the Hart boys. They said that car's done.
No, I get it. I'm just getting him in the interim.
You guys have any questions from up there?
Yeah, let me try.
Anything you want us to track down?
No, we're not sure if Mosing was involved in that.
He was, but he saved it.
Did he get through?
Yeah,
It looked like he
sa-
went off and then
he got clipped, and he was like that, but he got it saved.
No, I'm still getting program in the right side.
I don't. Completely cuts you out.
We
Yeah,
need to come up with an alternate.
If you see
time
Mosing,
scoring option, yeah.
Brian, if you see Mosing, he gets clipped and he starts to spin.
But he
and
makes it through?
He saved it.
Good.
I mean, he didn't make it through unscathed. He definitely he's going to have body damage, but he didn't wreck. And it's a whale of a save too. If you see it, it's right at the very end of that frame.
Hey guys, it looks like Wayne's going to get in.
Gotcha. We got no beast. We got no scoring past number 29.
Quick shout out to everybody on IMSA.com who's watching via the internet. Obviously, Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, always thrilling at Road America. And right now, we're going to sit out a little bit on our television broadcast, but you won't miss a thing, and you'll get to hear how we make some television from time to time as the boys and I will continue to talk and discuss it amongst ourselves, and you'll get to see the pictures. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that. Wayne Nonamaker's going to get in. So getting in early.
34 car pushed back behind the wall. They're done.
Looks like the fall line cars might come for fuel.
right, are you guys ready? It is Remo Rossetti.
Check, 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 check. This is Mr. Till on the spare. 1 ear only. Beautiful. No, that's fine. I'll be glad to do so. And that way I'll be able to hear the boys. Jackson was talking and Calvin disappeared completely. I had no idea what he was saying.
I could see him.
I don't listen to him anyway, but I mean. Talk to me, Dorsey, for just a second.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, Brian.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
We have no B scoring. Yep.
So we got that worked out. We got Mr. Edwards, Mr. Resitano.
Okay, now we go to 46 out of 53. 2. That's okay, because we're going to lose 2 or 3 cars. We already lost 1.
We lost 2.
We lost 2, yeah. Because that Honda's not coming back either. Yeah, there you go.
Sit on this.
That was a whale of a save by Mosing. Wait till you see that. Yeah. Well, he was zigzagging through and he got clipped, which sent him the other way around, but he caught it.
It's like the 3 Hondas. I couldn't tell if the inside guy moves or the middle guy moves left. I can't tell who starts it.
I think they both come in on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mosing was trying to go around the outside way, but I got put off there 2 weeks ago with the left side tires and it scared me to death.
Cameron Lawrence up the foot.
Yeah.
Where's Brett?
Sarah, by the way, I didn't get to talk to you guys. Coutinho is
Hey, we were there. Decades of racing here in Elkhart Lake. It started on the streets of the town, and moved to the facility here, and you could see some of those great historical shots of the drivers. Mark Donohue, Bob Tullius. I saw P.L. Newman in there, and such a great place, whether it's open wheel cars, sports cars, you name it. Road America is a place a driver wants to challenge. He wants to attack it, and that's exactly what's about to happen on the restart. John Edwards leads the field back to green. Kurt Resitano right behind him in the number 32 Mustang.
Smoke coming out of Max Riddle's car, I think. He's a championship contender. That's big news right there.
Billy Johnson right behind Resitano. It's Resitano in the black and gold, number 32. You ride on board with Billy Johnson down to turn 1. Edwards continues to lead in the BMW.
Johnson's been there before. Remember the opening lap? He got clouded.
Contact
there.
These guys not at all afraid to rub a little bit, and that was actually pushing and shoving. That wasn't rubbing.
Yeah, Johnson looked like he's a bit wound up by this, Dorsey.
Yeah, I think he is, too. He was out on that oil. Got that fourth-place car. He was smoking pretty badly, Cal. Out the exhaust pipe, that's a bad sign. Aston Martin to the inside on left, driver's left is the car we're talking about.
Corrin's up to 5th, but the Stevenson Camaros have dropped back to 7th, and Andrew Davis down to 11th after that frantic opening lap.
Things got stacked up there in the opening. I think people just got shuffled around just a little bit. Billy Johnson holding on, roughing up Resitano a little bit. Johnson now moves to 2nd. Resitano drops back to 3rd. So impressed with Andrew Aquilante and Kurt Resitano in that 32. They've built that car. Kurt used to drive the truck. He's an engineer. He's done it all. And right now, he's running 3rd here at Road America and putting pressure on Billy Johnson right in front.
He is, and I tell you what, Billy Johnson is dangerous when you talk about going for a championship. He's really just trying to resurrect this season. They had a nice runner-up finish a couple of rounds ago. Starting to feel the pace again, but he wants to hit that win column once again. Look at that. Looking around the outside, around the cushion, Dorsey, in the carousel.
Yeah, you don't want to go much further out than that because it gets pretty marbly out there.
That's one word for it.
Yeah. I dodged the other one.
This is where you hold your breath every lap, the kink. And it doesn't matter the car that you drive. It is just a breathe, maybe even flat out if you've got downforce working on your side. Obviously, these Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge machines, you don't have that kind of downforce, so it's a breathe. And then down to Canada corner, and Resitano looked to the inside of the blue 158 Mustang, but couldn't get it done.
Tom Kimber-Smith there in the Turner M3 down to the inside into Canada corner. They had a massive crash, had a tooling break, and he went off big time in turn 7 during the test day here on Thursday. It was almost an all-nighter for the Turner crew to get that car back together, but he's up in the top 10 right now.
You know, 2 of the 3 long straightaways, there you see the Aston headed for the pits and one that's been smoking. 2 of the 3 straightaways have bends in them, so you really got to watch where you are and watch where the cars are around you because it gets pretty dicey and tricky.
Talk about dicey and tricky. Down to turn 1, Billy Johnson with a bit of a draft off the BMW. Johnson in his Mustang to the outside. He's been here before, just like last time, Cal.
He has, and I think that John Edwards may be thinking about the big pitch here pretty soon. I spoke to him after qualifying. He said the big key is going to be tyre preservation, keeping the tyres underneath you for the full fuel run here. So Billy Johnson's looking really aggressive. I think he'll let him take it right now.
This was just a lap or so ago. Billy Johnson, one tough customer, Resitano to the inside, and boom.
Didn't give him any room.
No. Nope. Well, I think the other thing John Edwards needs to think about is Trent Hinman's championship. So he wants to protect that BMW, and right now Billy Johnson's taken over the point, leads down into turn 5. Edwards slots in behind in 2nd.
See Matt Bell there sitting in the 5th spot. He's starting to show some pace now, so the Stevenson Camaros are starting to come alive.
I think they were smart after those first 2 laps just to watch for a minute. Things were hectic.
They've had some BOP, some balance of performance change since the last round, added 50 pounds and lost a lot of their rear gurney, the downforce on the back of that Camaro. They've been really strong of late, going 3 straight, so they need to be tweaked a little bit.
Saw James Vance in the number 74 from Compass 360. His teammates had quite the problem in the opening lap down in turn 5, but that's the great thing about this Continental Tire Series. You attract drivers of all levels, some really high-end talent here this weekend. One of those drivers is with Jamie in pit lane.
And that's Catherine Legg. She brings an extensive amount of experience to the Compass 360 team. But Catherine, you've never raced or even driven anything with front-wheel drive, never raced in the Continental Series. What do you think so far?
I think it's very interesting. It's a fantastic opportunity, so massive thanks to the Compass 360 team and obviously Honda, HPD. It is so much fun. You know, it's a whole other learning process because I have never driven a front-wheel drive car before, but it's a race car at the end of the day, and I jumped in it, and yeah, I love it. It's great.
We talk a lot about the competition in this series. What are your thoughts coming in?
My initial thought, honestly, this probably isn't very politically correct, but some of these guys are crazy. There's a lot of talent in this series, and there's a lot of discrepancy between the talent levels. But that just makes it more interesting, and I think it's a great championship for the fans.
Well, it's great to see you out here. Thank you.
Catherine Legg, looking back at the kink right there, had a huge crash in the IndyCar Series. I think it was in 2006, and lucky to walk away from it. But she is quite the competitor, and she's learning her lessons in ST this weekend. It's a very different machine.
Yeah, she can wear the T-shirt. I had a big one at the kink, and I survived. So, but it was a scary moment for everyone watching that day.
Brian, you got to jump in a car a couple years ago, and what she's talking about, these guys being crazy, it's kind of what you said, too. You said, my gosh.
Absolutely. I drove at Mid-Ohio several years ago, and I thought this was insane. The start of the Conti race at Mid-Ohio made the start of the Indianapolis 500 that I ran seem like a cakewalk. So, yeah, they're a bit crazy at times. There is the 93. That is your leader in Street Tuner, Chad, the gunslinger, Gilsinger, as Calvin likes to call him, but look right behind Porsche Cayman.
Yeah, and look behind him, Cameron Lawrence having a great run in that Genesis here today. He's a young man, has done a lot of great things in the Trans Am Series. He was the TA2 champion last year, continues to lead that championship here, and he is doing great things. Just 22 years old, and he's right up in the top three, putting the pressure on Rashidi right now.
That's a new mark for the top of this deal, too. I mean, that car's looking really good.
Well, they got what they needed because they were a little heavy, so they got 25 pounds taken off. But more important than anything, they got a larger front tire for this weekend, and they've got some drivers that are making the best of the balance of performance options that they got. It's good to see them running up front. Let's check into the pits with Chris.
Well, Brian, just when we thought Darren Law had retired from driving and was going to try and make it as a broadcaster, he's back behind the wheel. And Darren, I know you've been putting some time in at the Bondurant School to knock the rust off, but these guys are door banging out there. You ready for that?
Yeah, well, hang on. Let me clarify something. I'm not officially retired. You, Dorsey, Calvin, Brian, you guys are retired. I haven't officially announced that yet. But, yeah, I spent all week last week driving Camaros trying to get ready for this thing.
Now, later on, we're going to try something new. We're going to actually talk to you on the radio. I know you've got a lot of voices in your head, but are you ready to have Dorsey's voice in your head?
No, no way. You know what? The other thing is, you guys are all sitting up there in the AC. I'm going to be sweating my butt off. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully the car's good, and we'll have some fun with it.
All right, the second half of this race, Darren Law back behind the wheel, and hopefully we're going to be able to talk to him when he's driving.
Sharing that CKS Camaro with Ashley McCalmont. There's the 00 right there. And always great to see Darren Law back behind the wheel. But, hey, we enjoy him up in the booth as well. Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, Billy Johnson. He wants to make amends for a season that hasn't gone his way. Can he win here at Road America?
In that car, on that Camaro. Yeah, it's ABS is coming in without the wheels being locked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some system problem.
Definitely.
All of them?
Now they can't figure out. Uh-oh, here's a spin. She goes to like 60% brake pedal pressure, and sometimes ABS starts pulsing.
Is it me or has he got worse?
Yes.
Yes.
I think all of this, and I think there's some...
Thinking too much about this.
Uh-huh. What's going on with that? Was there...
I have no idea.
I mean, I thought there was this.
Pretty blatant about it.
Yeah, seems to be.
Interesting stripe package. Yeah. He should have a little dent in the right corner.
I was telling Calvin that the Cayman's got that 100 RPM reduction, but there's some question as to whether they ever even go
Use
that
it.
high.
Yeah, that could be right. And 100 wouldn't do much. 500 would.
Yeah, 50 and 100.
Yeah, that's not much. Let me see.
Sarah's up to What's going on with that?
Hey, boys.
What a-
Oh, that was beautiful.
007. It's back at the hauler right now.
Oh.
Sound like a fitting or a line for gearbox oil. May have cracked. So they're trying to get that fixed.
That has championship implications. Yep. That's the 07, right?
Yeah, 07.
Yeah, I just added
An extra 0, which means nothing.
Billy Johnson used just about as much room at turn-in as
Yeah.
humanly possible. Half the tire was hanging off the front.
That'll get you sometimes.
Yeah, well, you really like all of it when it loads.
Mm-hmm. Had a big record turn one at Road Atlanta like that. Just like that.
Matt Bell?
Hey, Rum Bum's coming up into view. They're going for a three-peat. Car doesn't have the speed it needs anymore, though. It doesn't look like it. What number was that Rebel Rock car?
7.
7. Yeah. '50s in. Ellsworth. There's a good run
Good
going.
stuff, yeah.
Ramo is putting the pressure on.
Yeah, he is. That team has a balance on the car that is, it seems to work everywhere. I mean, it's not a big team, and they're not a bunch of people involved with it, but they've been putting a good car underneath them. Although John's karate kick of the windshield will still, that will make the highlights for the season.
That was classic.
Uh-oh. Problem.
That's not good.
No. Mr. Gilsinger has an issue. Is there something coming out from underneath the car?
No, I don't see anything. That's from the rumble strips.
Yeah, it's just up on the gator teeth.
It's like he's lost drive or something.
Thing looks like it's got a bunch of tire up front, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's going to move things around. Now let's see what happens with the Mazdas with the weight that they got. There's no smoke or anything out of the car, but I'm sorry, friend. and never made it back to the pit lane. The Mazdas are 40 pounds heavier this weekend.
So it did have a drive line. Calvin says it's Eisman. Yeah. Oh, this is pinching. See, I don't like when they do that. They had to run. Just
is it Hardess? Eisman? They also different.
Iceman.
Jackson? Hey, Jackson.
Eisman.
So Mr. Rossetti finds himself in back at Road America. Billy Johnson and his 158 Mustang lead the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, the Continental Tire Road Race Showcase from Road America. There's a look at Billy Johnson from the outside, and he has been tough from the drop of the green, mixing it up, a little bit of rubbing, a little bit of shoving, and he's worked his way up to the front. Things have settled down a little bit, Cal.
They have, and I think some of this is just playing out the big picture. They've really got to manage these tires here for this full fuel load and have something at the end.
Well, Billy Johnson leading in Grand Sport, but it had been the 93 of Chad Gilsinger leading in Street Tuner. The 04 Porsche Cayman, the black car that streaks by, had been in second. Why? Because there's Chad Gilsinger.
Yeah, and that car, he tried to limp it back to pit lane. He got it to the bottom of the hill, and that's all the further it went. And, of course, you see he's going to get pulled up to the pits there.
Highlight of their season was the win at Kansas and then a podium at Watkins Glen, but those are the only two bright spots. Things not going their way today, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a tough second half of the season, and Michael, we saw the car limping on the racetrack. What's the problem?
We had a drive shaft failure, so
It's gone back to the pit now. They're assessing whether we'll go back out or not. But the car was running well, and the team's been working really hard, so it's tough for a third DNF, and everyone's been working hard, like I said. So hopefully we can turn it around for the next race. Yeah, we've only got a couple more to go before we finish the season now, but for the 92 and 93, Road America's been a tough race for hard racing.
Of course, when he says he's got a drive shaft, he's talking about the stub axle or the axle itself, not a drive shaft like you would on a rear-wheel drive car. Those front-wheel drive cars have a constant velocity joint, and they break there, and that's apparently what happened.
Yeah, but look at this,
yeah. Yeah, Cameron Lawrence has got around Ramo and has taken the lead of the ST class, so that car is really coming on strong.
Yeah, it is.
This is huge for everybody at Irish Mike's Racing. That Hyundai Genesis, they've worked on it, and they brought different drivers in. Charles Espenlaub has helped a little bit. There's some car control skill.
Yeah.
It's got a little gap in the front of the hood that just wobbles around. I guess the hood pins are a little loose, but I don't think that's a problem. That car is running really well.
Really impressive performance by Cameron. Spoke to him yesterday, and he said, I love this racetrack. He said, I won here in Trans Am about a month ago, and great to be back. And he said, it's a great team to work with, and what a finisher they've got. Charles Espenlaub will co-drive with Cameron here today.
Remo Riccidi's not letting him get away, though.
No.
They came in right behind the Hyundai Genesis down the front straightaway. Came in looking for a draft.
You would think the Cayman would be aerodynamically more pure, slippery at the top end of these long straightaways, particularly when in the draft.
You look at the top speed, and there's really not a lot of differential. I think the Cayman gained a little bit at the end, but you could put that mile an hour, half mile an hour off to the draft, that's for sure. But Cameron Lawrence makes a mistake. Riccidi is right there to pounce.
What's cool is we talked about Trent Hinman leading the GS Championship. We've got two young guns here going at it. Riccidi's had quite a ride here the last month or so, getting the win, and looked like they had another one at Indy, but that got taken away from them with a mechanical issue at the very end in the last couple of rounds. But it's just great platform for these young guys to come through, Dorsey, and show their stuff.
Yeah, Cameron Lawrence, a new face for us. We know he's been doing really well in TA2 over there in a very competitive series, so.
He ran here last year with Mitchum. He also ran at Daytona earlier this year, I believe. So he's had a couple of goes in this championship, but has really been focused on that Trans Am championship with great success.
Remo Riccidi giving chase. What's the story from their pit, Jamie?
Well, I just checked in with his co-driver, Adam Eisman, and he was saying that the biggest thing that they have to keep in mind over the course of a full stint is the tire wear. He said, especially in the second half of the stint with the extra weight on the Cayman, especially here in the track surface, they have to really be mindful of how much of the tire they're using. So they're going to have to play it safe, but he thinks that they still have a pretty good shot at this one.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for better conditions. I mean, the weather this weekend has been stellar up here in the 70s. Absolutely beautiful racing conditions.
Well, and I love drivers who go ahead and make sure that they get those little digs in. Hey, they gave us some weight this weekend, so it may be hard on our tires. But in all seriousness, Road America is hard on tires. The long sweeping corners, especially like the carousel, they will wear tires. But that Hyundai Genesis up front, it's a little heavy. It got a little bit of weight off, but it has to be considerate about the tire wear as well.
I tell you what, this racetrack's hard on really is brakes. You got to watch that, and that weight affects that as well.
Bit of strategy playing out here. I think for Joe Vardy, what he's doing here is looking at the clock and realizing at this point he can bring Nick Long in. He's already split in the driver's standings with Matt Plum, and they can do it on one more start from this point forward. So he plays every card up his sleeve in trying to win these races. As you mentioned earlier, Dorsey, they're going for three in a row here.
Yeah, they've had a bad years. This would be a racetrack that they think that they could come win, having won the last 2 years in a row. But this is strategy, like you said, Calvin. There's no better guy than Vardy on that box.
He plays it every single lap, every single second of these races. He's thinking ahead. He's thinking if there's a yellow right now, we've made our pit stop. It's such a long lap here. You're going to stay on the lead lap even by coming down pit lane. And the pit lane delta and obviously the surface as well. So why not play that card?
And for Louis Bacardi, that team has been so successful over the last 2 seasons, but it's been a very uncharacteristic 2014. You look only one race back to Indy. They did not finish there and were out early with an engine problem. That's not what you're used to seeing. So they'd like to make it 3 in a row, and that would help salve the wounds just a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're 38 points back. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but they surely can't fall anymore.
They had a good run going. They got right back into the championship hunt just a couple of rounds ago. Then they had a rough one up in Canada at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Then that early engine failure at Indy. And suddenly, when you have consistency like that four-line car has had this year, it's really rough to try and recover from any bad races.
That was not what Billy Johnson needed. He got held up just a little bit by a lap car, and John Edwards really beginning to close down. As back to the lead in ST, Cameron Lawrence. That Hyundai Genesis from Irish Mike's Racing. very, very noticeable livery, that green and white with the shamrock on the side. Still holding off Rossetti in that Cayman.
Rashidi, he's really using all of the road there coming out of 7, and this is how the pass happened. This is going down into Canada corner a couple of laps ago.
Perfect brake setup right there. Moves to the inside, blocks the road for the Cayman.
I mean, textbook pass, but you've got to believe when you look at that straight line speed, and they've been so equal. We saw Rossetti sliding around just a little bit. Perhaps the tire's beginning to give up a little bit for Remo Rossetti as he slipped back in ST. It's Cameron Lawrence who leads there. Billy Johnson, looking for his first win of the season, leads overall. For everybody on IMSA.com, you continue to watch Cameron Lawrence leading in ST. We take a quick break from our television broadcast, but we'll keep the pictures coming to you from Road America for the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge. And this is the way we sit out and make our cut-down television programs, but you'll catch all of it. You won't miss a thing. Thanks for joining us. with just under 45 minutes run here at Road America and the Continental Tire Road Race Showcase. The leaders are beginning to pit. Billy Johnson and his 158 Mustang have come to pit road. Will not do a driver change, it doesn't look like. They'll just take the Continental tires. Good strategy, Cal?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, initially I was thinking if they're going to do a driver change, they just messed up because Billy hasn't got 45-minute minimum drive time, but they're keeping him in the car, and I like this call. I think you have to follow. I mean, Joe Vardy is such an ace, and when they pitted that run bum machine, problem here, you see the jackets come down before that right rear is on, and when that happens, you can tell there's a problem there, Chris.
Yeah, Cal, I saw that right rear corner, that tire not even on the wheel. It doesn't look like much of the team can see either as they're trying to get the jack underneath the car. That's the problem with these pit stops. Short fill in these cars, these tire changes have to be perfect, and that right side not going well for the Multimatic team.
And with the wheel not on, the frame almost on the ground, they can't get the jack underneath it, so now they'll have to go to the rear of the car. This takes precious moments.
Yeah, good call there.
That's a shame that happened.
They can get that jacked up enough to get that right rear on, but still a problem. They've dropped it down, and the right rear changer is like probably screaming in his helmet.
They might have a problem that we don't know too with the studs on that. Might have got bent while that wheel was sitting there supporting the weight of the vehicle.
Meanwhile, John Edwards leads in his BMW through the kink down towards Canada Corner.
I think he'll probably come because
that's a real shame there, because I agree with him putting the tires on, because Billy was leaning on that car really hard.
Yep.
You know, and that's what his job is. So, I mean, he needs tires under him to do his job. But this is killing him.
Absolutely, and they can't seem to really catch too many breaks either. They got the speed again this year, but just a little full power in the pit lane. That Jack obviously has a problem. Oh, look at this, the ST battle.
Oh, this has been good the last several laps. Cameron Lawrence in the green and white Genesis doesn't want to give it up, but Riccitti takes it. Pretty forcefully.
Yeah, but I would say so. That's a great two guys race right now.
And finally, the 158 comes back out of the pits, but
lost a lap.
Yeah, lost a lap, and that's just the bad luck that continues. You said it, Calvin. They've been so strong, the Multimatic team behind the 158 Mustang, but just a problem. You see John Edwards in the back of this view. He has come to pit road.
Yeah, and Brian, where we didn't see a driver change with the Multimatic team, we're seeing a driver change here. Your points leader, Trent Hinman, 18 years old, he's getting behind the wheel. This team going to try and be perfect on this stop, getting this driver change already done, just waiting on fuel, and then it's going to be right side tires. The 13, the Rum Bum car, they were perfect with their stop. The 158 problems there, and right now the 46 looking good, just finishing up right side. Jamie?
And the number 9, also in from Stevenson Motorsports, Matt Bell just climbed into the car. I talked to him earlier today, and he said the thing that they're going to have to do in order to stay at the front of the field during this race is to play it in the strategy. They're hoping to make up some positions here in the pits. So far, it's been a pretty good pit stop. They are taking a couple extra minutes trying to get a new windshield. It's pulling off the windscreen sticker. A little bit of a holdup here. He's losing precious time. He's got stuck on the windshield wiper, it looked like. So that was poor execution, not what they needed, but nonetheless, he's back out.
Just can't have those kind of mistakes.
Mike Johnson will be looking at that, and they'll fix that problem. That was a mistake made, tearing off that tear off, and it got hung on the windshield, then on the antenna, and they're trying to get the thing off. It cost them several seconds.
And you see how much quicker the BMW exited pit lane, and the number 9 stuck back behind, and that has got to be incredibly frustrating, but not a frustrating day for the guys at Irish Mike's Racing, Jamie.
No, and Charles Espenlaub in his first race with Cameron Lawrence. Kid's doing a great job, as you said. What has the weekend been like so far?
Oh, it's been a pleasure. You know, the Irish Mike guys have been doing a great job with the Hyundai Genesis, and Cameron's been a pleasure to work with. We've been friends on Facebook forever, but I only met him for the first time this weekend. It's only his second race here in Continental Tire Challenge, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's been, like I said, a pleasure to work with. His feedback's been great. He's doing, obviously, a phenomenal job out there right now, so hopefully we'll get some good pit stops and see what we can do at the end.
From Facebook friends to co-drivers. I'm not sure I've ever heard that one before, Chris.
Well, John Edwards led the Grand Sport class to green here today. And John, it got rough out there pretty early on.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were worried about brakes at this track because there's a lot of hard brake zones. So we put all new stuff on the car, tried to bend it in on the pace lap, and guess I had a little too much confidence in it. I think it probably needed another lap to bring the brakes in. So almost felt really bad because we had a little contact, Billy Johnson and I did, but fortunately looks like his car's not damaged and mine's not, so we both got away with it.
Yeah, I know you're a racer and you want to stay up front, but when your teammate is leading the championship, how hard is it to kind of temper that?
Well, I mean, that didn't play a part there. I just got a little trusted the car a little more than I should have with cold tires and cold brakes. But I was in that position a lot last year in the LMS series. I was in that position the year before in the Stevenson car. But you kind of got to put that out of your mind. I think of Trent's championship as my championship, and I have to drive the way I would if it was my championship. So you can't think about I'm not on the same point, so I want to win the race. Although he might want to sacrifice that spot. But unfortunately, just got a little overconfident in the car's capabilities of slowing down there.
John Edwards driving well right up front.
That's really true. You've got to do what got you there, and just because you've become separated by a technical infraction somewhere along the way, you can't change things.
No, you can't. I mean, if your natural instinct is to be aggressive and go for the gap, you got to do it. When you start overthinking it, Dorsey, is when it all gets horribly wrong. And John just admitted, we had faith in the brakes, new pads, didn't come in quite as quickly as I thought, cold tires, and he washed out wide, got into Billy Johnson, and very lucky that was a big hit. We went on the onboard earlier, and you could hear the contact in that left rear quarter panel.
I see Dorsey. Oh, was that you, Dorsey?
No,
that wasn't Dorsey.
I didn't do it.
Thank God. Right now, Kurt Resitano has taken over the point here at Road America. They would like nothing better to bring home their first victory of 2014. Can they do it?
Here's a replay of the pass that
95 good.
Just a typical Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge weekend from Road America. The fans, the excitement, it's all here. Kurt Rositano was leading when we went to break, but Trent Hinman has done what he needed to do. We said this was the run to the championship. He is the championship leader in Grand Sport, and he's retaken the point after pit stops.
Yeah, things have cycled through now. So in second position is the 01 car of Lawson Oschenbach. He's some 6 seconds behind our leader right now. Al Carter is still listed as third, but he just hit pit lane, so he's going to drop down the order a little bit. And Robin Liddell, the guy who's chasing down Trent Hinman in this championship, sits in the fourth spot for Stevenson Motorsport.
You know, the Camaro's a little bit of aerodynamics taken off of him here that some people thought would hurt a little bit. On a problem for one of the Mazdas at the exit of the carousel.
One of the Freedom Motorsports cars has been leaking oil. It was really smoking badly. It's Pombo behind the wheel, I believe. Anyway, I don't know if it's slid in the oil or what.
It's not what you want, especially through the kink, and you come down to the end of the back straightaway. Mark Pombo's moved up 22 spots, but you could tell he's definitely charging hard. One of the team cars, the one we must have seen the smoke out of.
Yeah, it's one of those cars.
Mark's had some wild rides here
I was going to say.
Probably one of the biggest ones we saw a couple of years ago. Down in the Canada corner, running with the Kinetic team. Kind of brake issue, we're on board with him.
Okay, it looks bad from there.
Watch this.
It looks pretty bad from here.
It looks real bad from here.
Look at that.
That gives you the sense of speed or the lack of braking and deceleration before he made contact with the wall.
That was a scary moment. We'll never forget that, any of us. We were really concerned. That was a tough one.
It took a lot of recovery to get him back, but he's obviously back up to speed behind the wheel. But the Mazda right now having problems, smoke out the back as Mark Pombo comes to pit road.
So it was his car that was smoking that we saw earlier. I think he got in his own oil.
They don't typically cure themselves when they have an oil leak. The only reason they stop smoking is because
there's no more oil.
There's no oil. That's exactly right.
It's blown up.
Tough day for the Freedom Autosports guys as Mark Pombo comes in. We saw the problem at the exit of the carousel. He also went off then at Canada Corner, and that is a scary ride right there.
Yeah, you're bounding along off the ground, just trying like crazy not to lose it because you're going so fast with it.
Well, he's a brave young man. It's just great to see him back in racing action, run with his brother Matt, of course.
The Mazda's a little bit heavier this weekend, 40 pounds added to them, and they've been really using the draft to try to take care of some of the speed that they feel that they might have lost. It's Ramo Rossetti still leads in ST. Look a little bit further back, and there he is. He's got a considerable lead at this point in time over Dane Cameron, who runs, or not over Dane Cameron, I'm sorry, over Chad McCumbee. But this has been crazy. It's such a great run with Cameron Lawrence. How many times did they do this over 3 or 4 laps?
They were duking it out. It was awesome racing, giving each other some racing room, but just great action here in ST today.
They passed for the lead 3 times in 1 lap alone, but that went on for, the better part of 15 minutes at least?
And the great thing about it was, they touched a little bit here or there, but it was great, clean racing. We talk about how good the drivers are, and Catherine Legg mentioned it. This is how good they are.
Oh man, that was fun to watch right there. That was a handful of cars.
They may not be household names right now, but obviously very, very talented drivers. This was from on board the 158. The Grand Sport car was like, I don't know if I want to be involved with any of this. Great drive by Cameron Lawrence. Good
One
stuff.
more time down into turn 5.
It was just back and forth.
Think they're having any fun?
Yeah, you'd say.
Pretty cool.
What's cool is that they left them each other enough room to pull that off.
Just barely. And Rossetti, the pass again into 6. Good stuff. An impressive drive by Cameron Lawrence. Jamie's with him.
And after a well-executed pit stop, there was a big round of applause for Cameron as he got out of the car. Cameron, only your 3rd race in Continental, your 2nd in the ST category. What level of comfort have you found out here after that battle?
It was just a lot of fun. Both cars are really evenly matched, and luckily the Irish Mike guys gave us a really good Hyundai Genesis. But this crew's been great, getting me comfortable with the car this weekend. First time with the team, but it's the car's showing its strength, and the team is too.
When you come in and you have such a good fight like that, how does that change your plans for the future? What can we expect?
I mean, we're just going for the win right now and battling as hard as we can. And I think Charles has a good car for the end, and maybe a caution or two will help us out, but it's going to come down right to the end.
It was a great, exciting drive. Congrats.
Definitely exciting to say the least, and they're going to need that caution, Calvin, or they're going to have to come back to pit road, I would believe. They stopped before the halfway mark, and that was with a caution in the opening lap. So,
yeah, big question there is whether they pitted as soon as they knew they'd get to the finish, or if in fact they were completely out of gas. So we'll have to wait and see. These things normally come down to a mileage race. You said, Dorsey, 4-mile racetrack, you have to get it right.
Awfully modest young man after a drive, put in a drive like that. You know, he got all the plugs in and all the stuff he needed to. So
Remo Rossetti now can focus on trying to put some great laps in the books. He doesn't have to run side by side with anybody. Focus on trying to extend the lead so that when they do make their pit stop, they've got a little more distance on the competition.
Yeah, they're just executing right now. They've got the speed in the car. They've got two really talented drivers who came up through Michael Valiente's karting team and got a good background, and right now they've got a good car underneath them, and they're just making it happen every weekend. I mean, they had a little mechanical issue at the very end of Indy, which is really a disappointment because you want to win races, but you want to win Indy. So to lose that one had to be a real gut check.
And it was within their reach. Is a win at Road America within the reach of the 0-4? Right now, Remo Rossetti has yet to pit. We'll find out how it goes when we come back.
Hey, Cal?
Yeah?
I don't know if you saw the 42 there.
No.
They just came in. That was final stop.
Okay, cool, man.
Yep, so
Thanks.
some of the STs starting to work their way through here.
Yep.
And he's had a really good run. You know what? I don't know where he is. He's up in the top 10 or so.
Yeah.
So I'm, pretty much starting his run dead last.
Wow, the exit of the kink is awful dirty. Somebody keeps running over that debris out there, too.
going to park at 6-5. Slow down 5-6. Slow down 6-5.
Just under an hour and 10 minutes to go from Road America and round 9 of the 2014 season. And thanks for joining us on IMSA.com. Been a great race so far. Trent Hinman trying to defend his championship, runs up front in Grand Sport. And if you've been with us the whole time, you've seen a great battle in ST. Cameron Lawrence and Remo Rossetti had one heck of a duel. Rossetti in his Porsche and Cameron Lawrence in the Hyundai Genesis. Good to see that car up front. We're taking a break from television. We'll keep bringing you all the sights and sounds from Road America right here on IMSA.com.
fuel number, please. Have to fix the under tray on the other side that's touching. Have to fix the under tray that's touching. You guys have got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Working on the under tray. Working on the under tray still, Tyler. Go on your sign, go on your sign. Reset fuel at 0, reset fuel.
Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge action from Road America. Brian Till, Calvin Fish, Dorsey Schrader with you up top. There's a look at Trent Hinman in the red, white, and blue, number 46, the BMW leading right now, and he has been our Dodge Viper SRT halfway leader. So Trent Hinman looking for win number 2 on the season with John Edwards and looking to put a stranglehold on that championship lead that he had as he came in here, doing what he needs to do, trying to collect maximum points right now.
Well, we talked about the challenge. He'd feel the pressure of the championship. Right now, he's holding a margin of about 5 to 6 seconds. It seems to be an ebb and flow to that. Yeah, but now we have a caution, and this is going to be pretty close to their fuel window, I think. By stopping here, they're going to gain a little bit of time under this yellow, and we may see these leaders have to come to pit lane for their final stop of the day. I would say about a 55-minute run is all you can do, but takes a little bit of while to get everyone under control here.
Sister car right there, the 47 in the gravel trap. Looks to be turn 8 straight off.
And that's the problem with gravel. It does its job.
Yes.
It stops you from getting to the tire wall beyond it, but the problem is it stops you, and a lot of times you can't get out without the help of a wrecker, and in places like a heavy braking zone of turn 8, pretty high-speed entry there, you can't put corner workers at risk.
Boy, and look at the racetrack in this area right through here. If we get closer up to view it, it's all coming up.
Yeah, this is down in turn 8, I think. So,
I think the racetrack's really marbled up there, and it looks to me this whole line through here is broken up.
I heard over the weekend, turns 5, 6, and 8 were having issues with this. They've been doing work each evening to try and rectify it for the next morning.
Guarantee that's slippery to drive across.
Well, they worked to get the 47 out of the gravel. Jamie's with Mark Pombo. They had problems earlier as well.
They did, Brian. This trail of fluid going down pit lane, that's what came out of the number 25. Unfortunately, their day is done. The car is now back in the paddock. Mark, what was it that happened?
We had an oil line blow, so really sucks because the Mazda Miata was running great during the race. We had some problems in qualifying, started in the back, got to the top 10, and everything was great. Continental tires, the Miata was awesome here. We're so fast through the corners. It's so fun to try to outmaneuver people and play a little chess with guys that got more power on the straights than us.
And that move that you made, all of those moves that you made, you guys were the biggest mover in the ST class. But we showed some video while you were in the car of a crash that you had here 2 years ago. When you come back to a track where something like that happened, what effect does that have on you as a driver?
Well, it's definitely a little nerve-wracking for my whole family and all the people that care about me. But more than that, it really is. It's really not as bad for me because I don't remember any of the accident or the next 2 or 3 weeks afterward. So if I had a memory of panicking in the car and something bad happening to me, I'd probably freak out going in there. But it's like I don't remember it happening at all. So it's almost like I watch somebody else crash when I see it.
Well, it was a great run that you were having here today. Unfortunate ending, though. Thank you.
Thank you. Go Andrew.
We were talking about the racetrack out there, and maybe it was being broke up, and I think what that is rubber buildup, Calvin. It's so many race cars running out there. 52 cars took the green. That could be actually just spent rubber that's sitting there, and it's nonetheless whether it is or not. I mean, it makes a hard surface to race on.
Yeah, some kind of epoxy resurfacing that they've been doing, but it's a temporary fix, and this massive field will certainly tear it up, as you would imagine.
Just under an hour to go, and this is going to be a complete reset because it's going to change the strategy a lot of these teams have. How will they get to the checkered flag? What strategy will they play? Who will win from Road America? We'll find out. Stay with us.
Hey, Darren Law, Dorsey Schrader are up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, buddy, I hear you. What's going on?
Oh, not much word and break right now. Just checking the radio system. How's your ride going?
Hey, I don't know if you guys see it on TV. I got a lot of smoke in the cockpit. We've got something wrong with the diff. Grand Dam on the next stop. Make a stop check it. So I don't know what happened to it.
Copy that. When we come out of break, we'll probably try to get to you somewhere on this front straightaway.
Hey, Temple, I hear you loud and clear over here.
Okay, man, you sound good too. You sound real clear.
I'm into 7 now, and I still hear you nice and clear. So whenever, man, I'm up.
All right, we'll get back to you.
Copy that. Are the pits open yet, or do I stay out?
Not yet, not yet.
Copy that. Back up to the back of the GS.
You're currently P11.
He said IMSA is going to make a stop and take a look at the diff or whatever's smoking.
They're going to look at it while we're doing a tire change and a fuel stop. They're going to look at it in our pit. Over.
Okay, copy.
52 minutes to go from Road America Continental Tire Road Race Showcase, and Grand Sport cars have come to pit lane under full course caution.
Big question here is, Brian, does anyone gambling just take 2 tires, try and save a little bit of time on pit road? We see the 4-line boys going to the right side for our championship leader and race leader, Trent Hinman. He's going to have 4 fresh Continental to try and win this race here today, Chris.
Look, Cal, you see they're trying to finish up fuel. Going to do 4 Continental tires on this car. Rum Bum already down and away, so just tires, I think, left side on that car. Trent Hinman, our leader, coming into pit lane. He's down and away. Jamie?
Well, both the number 6 and the number 9 Camaros from Stevenson are in. They're also taking 4 new Continental tires. The 6 car, very clean stop. 9 car, a little bit slower, but both are out.
The 9 got held up a little bit by the tire stack from the 6 just in front of him. So right now, all the Grand Sport cars will be in, and then the pit lane will open for Street Tuner. Interesting to see, like you were talking about, Calvin. I don't know that how many we'll have as far as Street Tuner cars come.
Yeah, for sure, because some of those may have already been in their fuel window or get to the finish anyway. Chris?
Well, Calvin, we talked to Darren Law earlier in the 00, the team coming in for fuel and tires, but we've also noticed that this car has been smoking out on the racetrack. I checked in with the team earlier, and they said they thought it might be an issue with the differential cooler in the car. Right now, Grand Am officials looking underneath the car, trying to see anything leak out. I'm looking at the rear bumper, don't see anything on the rear bumper, and don't see anything dripping underneath the car either. So, but the officials taking a good look here, trying to make sure they don't put a car out on the racetrack that's leaking fluid.
Well, which is not only safe for Darren Law in the 00, but everybody else on the racetrack as well.
Surprisingly, look pretty dry in the back.
Yeah.
Usually when you got a leak like that underneath, it gets the whole back spoiler and the whole back valance, and that'll look pretty clean, so I don't know.
Looking at a couple of those cars that seem to leapfrog around our leader when we came to pit lane. Trent Hinman, I think the 7 car and the 13 car, the Rum Bum machine, have to assume that they only took 2 tires to be able to beat them out.
The officials talking to the team right now saying these are some things you're going to have to do before we send that car back out. 9 races at the end of this one will be in the books. 3 to go in 2012. Drivers, teams already making plans for next year. Some great partner announcements taking place this weekend here at Road America.
We are very proud and excited to announce officially today, that we've signed an extension with IMSA. We started in 2010, so an extension through 2018 is definitely a long tenure as the official inspect tire of this series. So we couldn't be more excited to be involved in this series. The whole evolution from Grand Am and ALMS into what is now IMSA. This series, the drivers, the teams are all excited for the future and what the future holds in road racing, and Continental Tire is very excited to be involved in all of it.
It's awesome to have a partner like them, and then also see that they're going to be with us for the next 3 or 4 years is huge relief. You know, they bring a lot of support on track to us with a great product, very consistent and very safe to race on, but also they bring a lot of awareness to our sport outside.
Well, it's great for the series, it's great for the competitors, and great for the drivers. You know, anytime you can have continuity between the tire manufacturer and the series and so forth, it's good. I'm excited to have them around for a long time.
It's very exciting. I mean, the product has been super consistent. We've done a lot of development with the tire and Continental Tire over the last 3-4 years. We couldn't be happier.
So Continental remains the official tire of the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge Series. That's good news, as they all said, not only for the teams who have data on it, that's fine, but for the longevity of the series, it really says a lot for the stability of the series to have a company like Continental say, we got in and we want to stay in.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great platform for them. The competitors love the product. And as Ryan Eversley said, they do a lot of great promotion and really create great awareness to the series and what great racing we have here.
Matt Plum, currently shown in second in his Rum Bum Porsche. Chris, what's going on down there?
Well, that was a great strategy call. That team just doing 2 left side tires. But guys, earlier in this race, Matt Plum had to bring the Rum Bum car to pit lane because he had a left rear ball joint that he just felt something that seemed to miss there. I talked to Nick Longy, and he said during his stint it didn't feel right either. So he came to pit lane, didn't lose a lap. The team thinks they got it fixed, but boy, what great strategy to put him out, get him some track position, and they didn't lose a lap fixing the car earlier.
Well, we understand right now that Robin Liddell in the number 6 Stevenson Motorsports Camaro, 2 wins on the season, is going to have to do a drive-through penalty for speeding on pit lane.
That's unbelievable. I mean, Trent Hinman is looking in his rearview mirror, seeing his closest championship contender right behind him, and he's going to see him disappear as he has to hit pit road. This is a huge blow to their championship charge.
And you got to figure it's at least 30-second run down pit lane, the length of it here, and that is going to be...
But more importantly, you've got to stack up all the cars right now, so his track position, if you did it under green, he might have lost like 3 or 4 spots the way that the front of the pack had separated themselves a little bit. But with everyone stacked up after this caution, he's going to go to the back of the GS field and got to fight his way through.
His distance lost will be a good number, to say the least. The 0-4, Adam Eisman behind the wheel right now. Remo Rossetti, what a great run he had early on. Saw some debris flying off the track there as cars picking up rubber a little bit, but they've already made their pit stop. They should be good to go to the checkered flag.
These guys better start scrubbing those tires. There's a lot of spent rubber out there. You see it bouncing all around the racetrack.
Let's check in with Jamie on the 0-4.
Well, I talked to Ramo when he got out of the car, and you're exactly right, Brian. Their plan was to do that one pit stop. They waited until they needed fuel in order to bring him in, and so they are good now to the checkered flag. These cautions will definitely help that case, but he said they are not concerned about it at all. The one thing that he was concerned about was the tire wear at the end of the stint. He said by stretching the fuel all the way to the end of it, that the tires were getting pretty greasy. He said it was a little bit of a wild ride, but he said they have a very strong car. All of his faith right now is in Adam.
Well, thanks, Jamie, for that Corvette race analysis. It is the strategy that gets these cars to the front and then keeps them there. Then the drivers do their work. Brett Sandberg leads overall after the pit stop. Adam Eisman, can he and Remo Rossetti take another victory in the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge Series? Back to green at Road America for the Continental Tire Road Race Showcase. And here we go. Brett Sandberg leads the field down in his Rebel Rock Racing Porsche. Alongside of him, Matt Plum in his blue and yellow rum bum Porsche. Trent Hinman back in third, on board the 6 right now of Robin Liddell, but he is going to have to serve that drive-through penalty for speeding on pit road. He's not going to be happy.
You got to serve that penalty under green, so it's going to cost him a great deal when he gets there.
So Andy Lally there moving up into that 4th spot directly behind Trent Hinman, so you know that the radio communication from Stevenson will be put as much pressure on that boy in front of you. Here comes Matt Plum for the lead of the motor race.
It's been a while for the rum bum guys. They are really desperate for a win now.
Brett Sandberg gets shuffled back to second. Trent Hinman in that red, white, and blue fall line BMW in third. We hear there's a little strategy being played, but how much strategy can you play for Stevenson Motorsports when you have to serve a penalty, Jamie?
Well, the conversation right now is that team manager Mike saying that there is no way that he was speeding. They're saying, race control saying he was going 62 miles an hour at pit in. He's saying he was in line with all the other cars, so if he was speeding, they were all speeding. Robin's word to the team was that he was on the pit lane limiter before the pylons. He was on the pit lane limiter after the pylons. So this discussion, not over yet, but nobody at Stevenson's happy at the moment.
Yeah, Mike Johnson pleading his case, but how much can you plead?
Well, it's a really good point, though. I mean, they were all stacked up coming into pit lane. I mean, he was right behind the rest of the pack, so how he managed to be, 17 miles an hour over the speed limit, I'm not really sure.
Might be interesting to take a look at how they were all lined up when they came into the pits. on board with Robin Liddell right now, out of the kink on the way to Canada Corner.
He's going to run as hard as he can, and just going to have to take and go in there and take this penalty, but it's going to be a tough way to go. Without another caution would help.
Look at this, Hinman to the inside of Sandberg. That was really tight, Dorsey, down into Canada.
That could have been the caution, too, if you needed it.
Well, and the officials will listen to you if you have a case. So it'll be interesting to see, are they going to review it, or are they going to make him come in?
I don't think he'll rescind what's happened. It's already been done, so.
Look at this.
Yeah. They're back.
We've seen this before. The Irish Mike's Hyundai battling with the 04. The Porsche that we saw Remo Rossetti with such a good run in a little bit earlier, and the 42 in there now. Team Salen's Wayne Nonemaker, talk about championship contender. He's there up to third.
Well, as much as I trust those front guys running well with each other, all their friends behind them I don't necessarily trust yet.
Hinman looks to the inside. He's got to get this pass done on Brett Sandberg because Lally is really starting to pile the pressure on. Nice clean move there. He's up to P2.
He's passed, but can Sandberg
now Lally's going to get a run here.
Andy Lally, yeah, he may have gotten the better run out of turn 3.
He did. He's going to go right by easy, not even to the brake zone, and he's already passed.
Liddell has hit pit lane. He is serving that penalty, so whatever Mike Johnson was trying to tell the official, there was no way they're going to let him swerve on that penalty call.
And you're not going to argue with him and win anyway, so just might as well do it.
Charles Espinlaub to the right side of your screen in that white and green Hyundai Genesis, leading right now. Adam Eisman, Terry Borcheller. He wants to keep his championship hopes alive and move forward. He's being shown in third right now in his BMW.
Oh, this is an angry group here at the middle part of it anyway.
It's what's so great about this series, though. Hyundai Genesis, Porsche Cayman, and then BMW. 3 different manufacturers in the top 3 running nose to tail.
Championship leader Eric Foss right down in 16th spot right now. You see him on pit lane.
Something under the car dragging. It looks like left side toward the rear. I don't know if that's why it's in.
It's going to be a big point swing day if that's where that car finishes and these guys can move forward. Terry Borcheller doing exactly that right now in turn 8.
That was a nice clean move. That BMW is showing some strength here as Nonemaker is trying to force his way by Eisman as well.
First time this year that Eisman has been the finishing driver, so it's a completely different set of pressure that's put upon your shoulders to bring that car home to the checkered flag. Borcheller now beginning to pressure Charles Espinlaub.
When you have that many cars being driven as hard as they are, that's when things really start to happen. That's just like I'm saying. You see what happens.
Look at this. This is awesome.
We saw the Hyundai loose a little bit earlier in the hands of Cameron Lawrence in the kink, and then Espinlaub with a big slide. And look at the pack up down in Canada Corner.
You're taking your margin of errors away when you do this. We got all these cars, 10 cars, running at 10 tenths. You know, any one of those cars make a mistake, it's going to be catastrophic for everybody.
Andrew Carbonell now up to 4th in his Mazda. Throw another manufacturer in.
Drops a wheel. Both of them drop wheels.
Borcheller hungry for the lead. Looks inside Espinlaub in 14. Thinks better of it. Tucks the BMW in behind the Hyundai.
This is great to watch. Look at this guy trying to break the draft, trying to be evasive, swerve up the straightaway. That's going to stack everybody up behind him.
Here comes Terry, though. He slides it to the inside. Boy, that was easy.
Well, it was easy, wasn't it? I mean, he just drove by with a lot of power, a lot of authority.
That was a power move in more ways than one.
Terry Borcheller moves to the front. If they can finish there, if they can win, they'll move forward in the championship.
Wayne Nonemaker's being aggressive, too. Don't count him out of this deal.
Yeah, Wayne Nonemaker loves this racetrack. Sat on the Rolex GT pole here a couple of years ago. He also led many laps here with Dane Cameron for overall DP honors here last year before they had a drive shaft failure late in the going. So he loves this racetrack, and he's shown a lot of strength there. Just sitting in the 3rd spot, but looking really cool, calm, and collected.
More bad news from the Stevenson camp. The 9 car now being assessed a penalty, a stop and hold plus 20 seconds for leaving with pit equipment attached to the car.
Oh, no, that's catastrophic for sure. Don't know what that was, but you cannot leave. It could have been one of many things, really.
The day started out so well. The Camaro is running strong, and it's all gone awry here in the last few laps from Road America, but there is plenty more to come from Road America. We'll be right back.
Into the wall. So full course caution being called And that car, Owen Trinkler, you can see pretty substantial damage to the left side of that car all the way down, and you got bits and body parts out on the track as well. So, quick response on the scene already. We are under our third full course caution. What I was going to say is, long caution period, you're not running the tire side, you put on new tires, so whether there's scuffs with the lap on them or stickers, there's no also, with that Genesis, that the BMW that Porsche might be needing those tires just a little quicker, and that may have been why he was starting so much. Looks like Owen Trinkler caught the middle of the car, and he got down to look like that thing was at 74. I forget it, but I'm trying to see a replay of it here. Yeah, it was interesting. I'm not exactly sure. Got up on that exit curve, and the car, was starting to hit that exit curve, and Randy talked about it. It was jostling that car and loosening it up. The 74 was behind him, and the Sprinkler was there. It looked like he got tapped in the air. That's good. I don't think that was the full picture car was off in the weather strip from Sprinkler went out of his bed inspection that Sprinkler still trying to do there. He's trying to get out to the road. He's got to put out the impact from front bumper, rear bumper lockup, and that's what generally happens. Yeah, well, you're up on that curve, and that's, these are progressively rough curves. That's Captain Legg, who was in the car, by the way. It's the rough curve, so the farther out you get over them, the more aggressive they get. You start getting that chatter, and suddenly that car is just bouncing and dancing a little bit, and, as Catherine was coming back, I think the car behind was also dancing a little bit. Now, Catherine was the one, I should say, in the 74, and that car was dancing as well, and tried to hang on to it, so that car now, it will allow you to, there's Owen Trinkler looking at the 74 car going, really? What? And then letting him know I'm okay. But the interesting thing is that now, by the time we go back to green, there's about 30 minutes left, that might allay any fears that anybody might have on tires. And the reason I mention that in particular is the London team only took the two rears, those fronts. Had they had to race hard here for a full 45 minutes or something, they may have run them off. Now those fronts could go for the breather too. We're suspecting it, we're not sure. So when Randy told us that, BMW 128i, Charles Espinal, the Hyundai Genesis, the 95 car currently running second. For 42, Salem's Porsche Cayman and Wayne Nominator currently third. Fourth, Andrew Carbonell in the Mazda MX-5 with a 26 car. And currently in the fifth spot is the 04 of Adam Iskin for Porsche Cayman, who led very early on with Raymond Rashidi on board. Ricky Fuji in the BMW 328i currently in the sixth spot. James Clay running seventh. Currently in 8th, Connor Bloom in that other BMW 128i, Steve McLear in the Mazda NX5, and the 5 car is Seth Thomas, another BMW currently in 10th. So that's the way that the top 10 of GS and ST shake out here underway. When you consider where they ended up qualifying, 19th in class, they just didn't get the qualifying set if they wanted to be able to rebound like this and possibly keep it in the top 5. Fantastic story, going to be absolutely wonderful. I heard you going down and giving everybody a full top 10 rundown, so thank you for that. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when we go back to green, particularly in the ST class, where it looks like it takes a little while. As a driver friend of mine who has a great way with words, but it takes a little while for those Porsches on colder tires, which would be after a long caution, those Porsches to wake up, as they put it. 29 minutes even remaining in this 9th round of the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge. While we have a moment, when this race is over, we will have, of course, a victory circle presentation. Starting at 3:10 will be the final practice for the Tudor United Sports Car Championship. All 4 of the classes will be out in that final 1-hour practice. Here's the rub on that one, though. The GT Daytona cars, in particular, have to be very cautious in that one because after that ends,
under full course caution for the 3rd time here at Road America and Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge action. So the Camaro pace car gathers up the field. The accident was down in turn 5 between a couple of different ST competitors. Catherine Legg and her Compass 360 Honda Civic got together with Owen Trinkler just up ahead here. You're right on board with the number 6, and you see the contact off to your right.
Yeah, it just looked like they were too close there, and Catherine was on the gas pedal, and Owen just got turned hard into that wall, just pancaked the side of that Civic there.
So disappointing, and Owen not at all pleased
Well, he does it all. I mean, he works hard. A lot of these drivers put a lot into their careers, but Owen kind of orchestrates that whole team. So he's not only looking at the disappointment of the day, but also the work ahead in terms of making the next round of the championship.
That car probably goes into the trash can. I mean, that was an unprotected concrete wall, and it took a wicked hit.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's so disappointing. Calvin, you're spot on. He's the guy that runs that program and is kind of put it all together. Randall Smalley still has his Cruise America sponsorship on the side, but disappointing day. Talk about disappointing. Stevenson can't be happy right now, Jamie.
No, but you see this camera that's on pit lane. The team has already watched the video of that number 9 pit stop. They know that Andy left the pit lane with the fuel hose still attached. So that's not the penalty they're upset about. It's the one with the number 6 car. He's already served that penalty. What do you do now to get him back up to the lead of this pack and get as many points as you can?
I mean, there's not much we can do. It's really all up to Robin. I mean, good thing is he's an excellent driver, and he'll figure out a way to get some of those cars. But, you know, we were really having a good run there of some great races. Our Camaro's been running fantastic, and we had a shot to get a podium and stay in the hunt with that 46 and really fight for the championship for the last 3 races, and this obviously just takes that all away. So now it's just trying to maybe fight for second and hold off whoever's behind us.
Coming into the race today, it was execution. There was the trouble getting the windshield off on the first stop. It got stuck on the wiper. Then there's the fuel. Then there's the pit lane limiter. What does the team have to do now to recover from this for the rest of the season?
You know, I mean, we've been perfect all year long, which is why we've won so many races and been up front, you know. Sometimes you just have days like this. You know, it was something that kind of we've never done before. We haven't done that tear-off in the middle of one of these races because it usually doesn't happen. And the wipers, it's just, you know, some bad things happened and we just didn't execute as well as we should have. And, you know, obviously we're going to do the same. You know, if you try to go and change everything, then you know what works. So we just have to make sure that we're focusing on what works and come back and try to win the last 3, I guess.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at some of the problems here. Talk about, this is the pit in.
Well, what Mike's talking about, that's his car right there, Robin Liddell in the 3rd place car. Up ahead is where you have to be to pit lane speed limit. That's this line right there on the side. Now, he's the 3rd line car in line. See him right now as he's going in there? All of those cars look to be going relatively the same speed. We didn't hear the speed infraction. Their other issue was leaving pit lane where there's this air hose right here that's getting run over. You can't run over pit equipment or hit a tire or whatever.
It was multiple because the fuel hose was still attached in the back and then the air hose up front. That one,
a double win,
was pretty straightforward. How straightforward is this restart going to be? Matt Plum, Trent Hinman right behind him in his BMW. Hinman knows that almost everybody in the championship close is behind him right now. He needs to drive smart on this restart. And over this final
green.
24 minutes to go from Road America.
And the team needs to tell him that Andy Lally has to serve a penalty, so he doesn't want to fight Andy Lally as he blows by him there. Let him go. He's going to hit pit lane next time by. Then the question is, how badly do you want the win today, or do you think big picture in the championship with that rum-bum car up ahead of you, Dorsey?
Lally's going to drive like a demon right now because he's going to make up as much time as he can. Knowing he's coming for that penalty, I wouldn't mess with him. Let him go.
And Lawson Aschenbach right behind him in the 0-1, the CKS Camaro. Well, guess what? He's 12th in the points. He could care less about Trent Hinman. They want a victory.
And Lawson's coming off a double victory in the World Challenge Series last week at Mid-Ohio, driving a Camaro, so he's certainly on form and having a heck of a week.
Matt Plum, Trent Hinman, Andy Lally, Lawson Aschenbach. Those are your top 4 in Grand Sport. Terry Borchiller still leads in ST, followed by Wayne Nonemaker and then Charles Espinlaw.
Watch Lawson here. He's trying to do the over-under there. Wasn't quite close enough to Trent to get the move done.
Hopefully Joe Vardy has talked to Matt Plum and told him that Andy is not going to be for position. It's not like it looks because he's coming in.
Porsche, Camaro, BMW in Grand Sport, BMW, Porsche, and Hyundai in ST. 3 different manufacturers up front in each class, and it is heating up in Grand Sport. And Terry Borchiller putting some distance between himself and Wayne Nonemaker.
Yeah, great restart there for Wayne Nonemaker. He's got around Charles Espinlaw. Now he can put the heat on Terry Borchiller, but that BMW looked awfully tough in those last few laps before we went to caution, Dorsey.
It did indeed. And these guys are fighting really hard now, which is what you have to do with 20 minutes left. It's a full-on sprint race now to the finish.
Nice move there by Gregory LaFuse. He's going for a double victory here. Won here last year. Can he make some more speed here and get through to the front of this pack? Good day for Bimmer World.
We said it when we came in this weekend at the beginning of the show. This is where you've got to make up ground in the championship, and it's where you've got to sow your seeds and prepare for next season. I know it seems like a long way away, but you want to go out strong. And look at this, the Mazda on the back of the Hyundai at the kink.
Wow. That would have been going out strong if they
boy,
touched
oh
it.
boy, that's the last thing you want to someone poking your nose down the inside as you're turning in for the king.
Matt Plum being hounded, but right behind Matt Plum, it's the car number 9, Andy Lally. It doesn't really matter. He's got to come to pits.
Not coming this way now. They're giving him the black flag. Now, they're only going to let him ignore that for a short period of time before the penalty gets much worse.
So side by side with Matt Plum across the line, but Andy Lally has to serve that penalty. You even heard Mike Johnson say, that's not the one that we can argue. It's not the one we disagree with. That one was obvious. Lally will have to pit.
Tell you what, Hinman's got to be careful. Aschenbach, he's a really clean driver, but he is hungry and he wants more. He looks to the inside as they come down to the brake zone for turn 3.
Should have that position. I think he's got that cleanly.
You talked about pressure at the beginning of the show. Right now, 18-year-old Trent Hinman has the pressure firmly on him. Scott Maxwell applying the pressure in the 15 Mustang right behind the Multimatic Mustang in the grass.
Totally in the grass.
That is not good in the front straightaway. It is really slippery when you get pushed over there or drive over there.
We talked about
hit this lap.
That's the radio communication to Andy Lally's got to pit, otherwise they're going to stop scoring him. But Hinman, what a pressure cooker situation. We talked about it at the top of the show, leading this championship by 15 points, but a lot of experience all the way around him, Dorse.
No doubt about that. That was Mike Johnson on the radio telling Andy, come in. Andy, what he's trying to do is get as much of a gap as he can. He's trying to get a lead if he can get it, so it's not quite as bad a penalty when he gets in there.
Maxwell was pressuring Hinman just a moment ago, and now on the back of Scott Maxwell, BJ Zacharias in his Nissan has joined the fight, and that car has been very quick on long runs, and now he is all over the back bumper of that number 15 Mustang.
He's been stealthy, too. We don't know that he hadn't been saving a lot in that car, because all of a sudden it's come alive.
They say that the Nissan runs well on long stints, and right now they've got just over 20 minutes to go to the checkered flag from Road America. BJ Zacharias trying to move forward, and Trent Hinman trying to hold on to his championship.
Maxwell right now, as he has got around here, Kleinhuben too, starting to run very strongly right now.
Brian Till, Calvin Fish, Dorsey Schrader with you from Road America. Andy Lally leads in the Continental Tire Road Race Showcase, but he only leads on track. The black flag shown to him last time by for the pit violation. The real battle right behind him, that blue Camaro of Lawson Aschenbach wants past Matt Plum in the Rum Bum Porsche.
This is a great battle. You saw the Rum Bum really weaving under braking there. I've got to think that Andy Lally may have some kind of radio communication issue to stay out there like this. He did get the black flag waved at him. He made a hand signal to acknowledge it, but maybe he's in the dark literally in terms of whether he needs to come in.
So they've got a sign for him. When all else fails, pull out the Sharpie, Jamie.
Yeah, that sign was just displayed to Andy as he went by pit lane just this last lap. So I believe they have a radio issue at the moment. He's not responding to any of their communication at the moment. So we'll see if he got the message on the board, literally, and if he's going to come in.
Well, I mean, one thing about it, he's going to fake a radio thing now. He did get one more lap to extend his gap, which helps him on that end, but it also takes one more lap away from his ability to catch up.
The only good news is that Rick Rat, our stats man, did not write that song because he would not be able to read it.
He would have been able to read it. I'm going to give my hats off again to the officials. Look at this. Porsche then Camaro, then BMW, then Ford Mustang, then Nissan, then Subaru.
Look at that move. Wow. Oceanback deep on the brakes into Canada. He gets the job done on the outside. Here comes Plum. He rebounds.
Look at Pierre Kleinubing in the Compass 360 Subaru. He picks up a position.
Clear. That's really close to a disaster in the making right there.
Kleinubing is flying. He's got a lot of speed there.
6 different manufacturers fighting it out up front for the win. Andy Lally now comes to pit road.
Plum had a bad run right there. He got a slide off of turn 14. He's going to be a sitting duck, I think.
Lawson Oschenbach to the outside. It'll be a drag race down to turn 1.
Hinman's just sitting there. He's just observing. My championship's on the line. Don't do anything too crazy in front of me. I got nowhere to go.
I like that call because it doesn't look very safe right now.
Oschenbach clears Matt Plum, then Trent Hinman, your championship leader, trying to hold on. Scott Maxwell right behind him in the Mustang, now back on the rear wing. Andy Lally going to serve his penalty.
Just losing tons of time. These guys are gone.
Watch Kleinubing. He looks really strong. He's a former ST champ in the series and started this year without a full-time ride. Great to see him back in action and showing why he needs to be here every weekend.
Multi-time champion. Different venues. It doesn't make any difference. He can drive a race car.
And as the track gets a little bit slicker, the all-wheel drive of the Subaru will pay big dividends. The 87 off and out of the way.
I think that was intentional.
Yeah, it was a good move.
I don't want any part of this. Yeah. You guys go on.
Kleinubing still pressuring Maxwell. BJ Zacharias in the number 14 Nissan trying to take the fight back to Kleinubing. Meanwhile, out front, Lawson Oschenbach beginning to pull away slightly from Matt Plum.
I think Hinman's got more speed than Plum. The question is, how badly does he want it and how easily will Matt Plum give it up?
Plum is being defensive, so I don't think he's going to give it up.
Talk about championships. Terry Borcheller, Mike Lamara, defending champions in ST, and they need to keep working their way back up. They're 5th right now. A win here will pay huge dividends, but right behind them, Wayne Nonamaker. They've been so impressive this year. Jamie?
Well, I came down here to talk to Mike Lamar to kind of get his thoughts on the way this race has unfolded and everything. Well, he's not even down here on the pit box. He's actually out calling the green flags. He's acting as a little bit of a spotter, but he did say after qualifying that the car was 2 seconds faster than it had been in the practice session. This team all worked together with their crew chief, Peter Hansel. They were able to get a solid car underneath him. They were really looking forward to the race, and so far it looks like things are playing out in their favor.
Things working good. Now Trent Hinman starting to press a little bit. Perhaps he sees that Subaru moving and he's like, I want to be careful, but I can't give up too much. So
I think that is what exactly is happening. He's under pressure.
Strategy being played. Championships on the line. You want to move forward as much as you can. Short time to go at Road America.
New leader, 01. Nice job, buddy. Nice job. 15 minutes to go. Just bring it home. Hit all your marks. Nice and smooth. You got this.
Minutes to go from Road America, and Robin Liddell has refused to give up. They've served the penalty for speeding on pit road. They had to do it under green, lost many positions, and he is right back in 7th place right now, running those Continental tires off of that Camaro as he gives chase to BJ Zacharias, trying to move forward.
This is an awesome job by Robin Liddell. Like Mike Johnson said, it's really in the hands of Robin. We can't do anything for him. He's a great driver and showing his experience and racecraft here by making his way back towards the front door.
But like always, the further to the front you get, the harder it is to get the next one because there's so much ferocity up there.
BJ Zacharias looks inside Scott Maxwell. Maxwell shuts the door, and the Mustang.
Slow off. Look at Liddell. He's going to make a run on Zacharias there.
Robin Liddell, can he pick up another position? Move forward one more spot. Here he comes.
Oh, he's got it. He's already got it before the break zone.
Now, the Camaro had a little bit of an adjustment this weekend. They were given 50 pounds more weight to carry and reduced the downforce that they had, but that reduction in downforce may not be that big of a problem down these long straights at Road America.
Well, that's right. Obviously, you need the downforce to get through the corners. Oh, here we go side by side. Kleinobing takes that P3 spot away from Trent Hinman. There you see, still the battle continues between Liddell and Zacharias, but you're right, Brian, they lost a bit of downforce, but they gained a little bit of speed down the straightaways with less drag.
Kevin Dorn doing a great job with his team, fielding that Nissan underneath BJ Zacharias right now, but Robin Liddell bit in his teeth.
Yeah, no lie there. You got that right. I mean, he is absolutely pounding this Camaro right now, trying to get it up there.
Saw David Empringham right behind BJ Zacharias in the team car for Dorn Racing. The two Nissans right there running nose to tail. So another great outing for this team, showing what they can do with that Nissan power plant. But right now, Lawson Aschenbach controls Grand Sport. Chris?
Brian just checked in with Eric Kern to see what the status of that car is, and he said, you know what, they've had a great package all weekend long, just looking at this race play out. He said his only concern is that Camaro a little bit harder on the tires, especially here at Road America, than the Porsche behind him. So he said they know that the rum bump car only took 2 tires, but right now Lawson trying to take care of that car in case Matt Plum takes a run at him.
Well, the guy I'd be worried about is Kleinobing. He is coming. Yeah. I think that car's going to have good tire wear, obviously. He's going to be really strong here in the last 10 minutes.
And he's got it right where he wants it. I think third's the right place to be hanging out right now.
Well, we talked about the reduction in the rear gurney, the reduction in downforce that the Camaro has. Yes, it makes it faster, but it lets it slide around a little bit more, and that's the tire wear that they're talking about, Calvin. You don't want the car to slide.
Tell you, Plum looked like he was in trouble 5 minutes ago. Now his car has settled down a little bit, and it's all about the delta. Here he goes. He looks to the inside. Look at Kleinobing. He's right there. Aschenbach's having to defend that inside line. It's going to cost him lap time.
You know, the other thing it could have been, Calvin, is they're taking 2 tires like that. You got a mismatched balance on the car. Here comes Kleinobing.
Right side, right side.
That is where the Subaru has been so strong. All-wheel drive off the corner, and he just powers past Matt Plum.
Unbelievable.
Well, I said third was a good place to hang out. Now second looks good, too.
Yeah, and his car looks a lot more stable than Aschenbach up front, but Lawson has a lot of experience, too. He's used to winning championships and races on a regular basis, so he's going to try and hang on. It's been a bit of a tough year for he and Eric Curran. Runner-up finishes their only podium spot of the year.
But what a victory it would be for Pierre Kleinobing and Ray Mason, the entire Compass 360 team led by Carl Thompson. I mean, who would have thought the Subaru would have excelled on these long straightaways, but it has just been magic off the corners, and as the track has deteriorated, it really shows its strong suit.
I think that's exactly what's going on. This racetrack's got a lot of spent rubber. The guys are slipping and sliding around, and that car's coming alive.
Robin Liddell up to 6th. Take our final break from Road America with just under 9 minutes to go. Is the lead going to change again? We'll find out when we come back to Wisconsin. Good stuff up front. Looking down the straightaway, back up towards the Canada corner. The leader this time by Pierre Kleinobing. Subaru just too strong for Lawson Aschenbach. Pierre Kleinobing rockets to the lead.
Look at Hinman now. He's starting to put the pressure back on Matt Plum for that final podium spot right now. So he wants a little bit more. He's looking into his rearview mirror. He can see Rob Liddell closing in. At one point, he was probably feeling pretty good about holding the spot he is, but right now he has to move forward. Watch this. This is into turn 7.
This is when you're strong. When you run a guy on the outside over in the marbles and you got more grip than he does. I think Tommy Kendall did that to me here one day. I'm still mad about it, too.
When you've got drive to all 4 of those Continental tires on the Subaru, you can run out wide, and that's exactly what we've seen Kleinubing do. Make the pass where there is no grip for anyone else, but he's able to get the power down with the all-wheel drive. Now Robin Liddell in 6th, working on Scott Maxwell for 5th.
Yeah, and he's going to dive down the inside. I think he's going to take that position. What a drive by Rob Liddell. Coming down pit lane, an extra time. He's now up to the 5th spot, right behind the man he's chasing in the championship, Trent Hinman.
For a Continental Tire race recap, GS leader right now, Pierre Kleinubing, ST leader, Terry Borcheller. This battle isn't far from over yet.
Side by side at 150 miles an hour, man, you don't get much closer than that.
Who's got the better brakes into turn 5? Slowest corner on the racetrack. Liddell takes the point. Maxwell is going to attempt the over-under. No, nothing doing now, but he's got a mirror full of Nissans from Doran Racing.
You got a greasy racetrack right now. There's a lot of dirt and debris, rubber out there. Some of these tires are going off. Some guys only took 2. You can really see who's got strong combinations.
Looking back down the front straightaway, there's Terry Borcheller in his Burton Racing BMW. Back to the battle for second place, Wayne Nonamaker in his Team Salins Porsche has it, but he's got a rearview mirror full of Mazda. Andrew Carbonell, even with a little added weight this weekend, the Mazdas have run strong, and he's really taking the pressure in now.
That's big.
Just when they were getting
Wonder
back in
if
the
Hinman
game.
was involved. Remember, Hinman was trying to make a move on him. We'll have to see what
That's a
happened
carousel,
there.
guys.
Yeah.
About halfway through the carousel, maybe a third of the
Hinman's
way through.
there. Hinman's right there in the 3rd spot. You can see him, but whether there was contact or not, they were running really close together on that previous lap.
That just kills Rum Bum's championship hopes. This will take him out.
And they were running close together. Let's take a look and see what happens.
No,
He's going to do it on his own.
I don't think Trent's going to be able to
something
get
broke.
that.
Something broke on the car.
Yeah, it did. It just took off. Just took off.
Yeah. That's not what you wanted to see. 5 minutes to go, and the full course caution flies again as Matt Plum trying to make it 3 in a row here, and it all goes away in an instant, Chris.
Well, Brian, we know earlier in the race they had that ball joint and the left rear that had come loose on that car. They tightened it down, but Joe Vardy did tell me, he said that's something that has been backing out this weekend, and maybe that's the case there, that ball joint maybe loosened up again, and that's what sent Matt Plum off the racetrack. The team still trying to figure out exactly what happened, but I think it's safe to say we could probably speculate that.
Something definitely broke. I mean, he was starting in the entry, the upper third of the carousel, and the car just went straight.
But you know what?
Turning.
Not a bad place to have that happen.
It's better it did it there than at the bottom.
A quarter mile down the road would have...
Yeah, down the road about another quarter mile, you'd have been in trouble there.
Yeah, that would have been the kink. Joe Vardy just shaking his head.
Joe just can't believe it. I mean, this team is championship team. It's multi-time champions, and this year is just not theirs at all.
Had accident damage right at the flag at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Lost the engine, first lap at Indy, and now we see the car in the barrier here, so... Just a tough month for these guys.
He just called in and said whatever's been working itself loose just broke.
Well, and you had mentioned it, Calvin. He had seemed to be dropping back and then kind of got the handle back on it again and figured out how to deal with the problem, and then eventually could not keep it under control. The 22 and the 50, a little bit of action as well. 4th and 5th in Street Tuner at the time.
Uh-oh. This is a little rubby.
Little push to the outside and then around. And
yeah, the 50 kind of pushed him right out of the way, the 22.
50 car coming off the win at Indy, of course. I think what they're doing here, they're really trying to slow this pace car down to see if there's any way they can get the Rum machine into a safe area so we can maybe get a green-white checker here this afternoon.
Right where that car is, if they can just tow it about another 50 feet, there's a break in the wall, they can get it behind. We've got less than 3 minutes left.
They'd have to shut the lights off this time in order for that to happen.
Remember, it's a 4.5-minute lap around here. We're behind the pace car.
I'll tell you what, if we do go green, watch Rob Liddell and Trent Hinman.
Oh, boy.
He realizes that rounds are running out. He's got to try and cut into that margin that Trent has in the championship lead.
So the safety car coming down the hill into 8th. They're not to the carousel yet. It's just around this left-hand corner. That's where Matt Plum's car is. Take a look and see what kind of progress the safety crew has made. Be interesting to see if they can get it done. We talked about the speed of the Nissans. Jamie?
Well, perhaps most impressive about the number 14 speed today is the fact that that car was just rebuilt over the last 7 days. Kevin, what would a good, strong result today mean for this team?
Well, I mean, just having a clean race and finishing was great because the car was completely crashed Saturday morning a week ago today, and it's a whole new chassis. So it was a million pieces on Sunday, and now we're here, I think it's 6th. Hang on a second.
Currently running 6. Yes, we're going back to green, he says, guys.
Oh, boy. We got it done.
Lights out on the Chevy Z28 Camaro safety car.
Oh, boy, you talk about tighten your belt time.
Yeah, I love this call, though. The series done a great job this year of giving us green flag finishes.
Nobody wants it to end under a caution. Yeah, when you're up front, you're like, I'll take this victory. But you know what? They've worked this hard. You want to earn it, and they're about to earn every penny they're going to make right now.
How does Trent Hinman deal with this pressure, Brian? We talked about it before we even saw the green flag today. Right now, he's got the man with the experience chasing him hard in the championship right behind him.
They got 4 miles to figure it out amongst themselves.
And don't forget about the battle in ST. Terry Borcheller leads in his BMW over Wayne Nonemaker, then Andrew Carbonell. Corey Lewis was in 4th until that incident we saw down in turn 5. So that's still a great fight. We're about to have a good one here. 4 miles and change around Road America. Safety car dives to pit road. Look for the green, and Pierre Kleinubing in his Subaru will lead the pack to the restart. 1 lap to go.
Hero or zero time, guys. Let's go.
Look at the run that Maxwell has got. Forget about Liddell on Hinman. Maxwell's got a run on Liddell.
Here we go, boys. Down into turn 1. All-wheel drive out in front. Lawson Oschenbach looks to the inside of Kleinubing.
Hinman did a good job. He's got 3rd covered right now anyway.
78 Mustang is in there on the back of Robin Liddell. A little pushing and shoving. It's about to get wild in turn 3.
David Levine there in the 78 machine having a great restart. He's now side by side with Maxwell as they come off a 3.
So far, still clean going down. This is the one that scares me. Just flying down into the 5.
So far, so good. There's ST, Terry Borcheller, with about 3 or 4 car lengths over Wayne Nonemaker.
This looks comfortable. Look at Oschenbach. He's defending from Hinman. Hinman wants a little bit more. Liddell sits there in 4th.
And Levine in the white 78 Mustang picks up another position.
Oh,
Does
boy.
Robin Liddell.
He's got the nose in there, and that's good for turn 6.
Up into 6, some contact.
That's a different battle than what we're looking at.
Yeah, did Liddell get by Hinman there? He had the inside line there, side by side there.
He did.
He's got it. He's got it. That is so important in the championship. Can Hinman respond now? What a move by Rob Liddell. He got the better traction off of turn 5. Power to the inside for the brake zone for 6.
15 points separated Trent Hinman from Robin Liddell and Andrew Davis as they came into this weekend. If he can finish in front of him, they'll pick up a few more points and they'll close that gap. Absolutely critical. He stays in front.
That turn 6 is not defendable. If a guy's got his fender up inside you, there's nothing you can do about it. There's only 1 turn left, really, that you can make any move, and it's coming up.
Look at Pierre Kleinubing, though. He looks so comfortable out front. The car is really working, and he has executed the perfect race here in the last 30 minutes.
Kleinubing over Lawson Oschenbach. Then back from the penalty. Robin Liddell in 3rd, but Trent Hinman's not finished with him yet. Still putting the pressure on as Kleinubing leads through 13 on the way to the final corner. Hinman, 1 more shot at this into 14. Liddell with a bit of a block in the Camaro. Hinman crosses back underneath.
Uses the curb. He's going to try to get a run. I don't think he's got enough, though.
Watch David Levine. He's got a good run in that 78 Mustang, the black and white machine there.
He's looking for the draft.
P1, buddy, P1, nice job.
What happened there to Kleinubing on the run to the stripe?
Where did the...
He's there in the middle of the pack.
A clutch issue. So much.
Spot.
And Terry Borcheller wins at Road America in Street Tuner.
Can you believe that one?
That's why they say it's never over until it's over.
That's why you race to the bitter end. And for Lawson Oschenbach, he was not going to turn loose of that back bumper of the Subaru. The clutch problem for Pierre Kleinubing after such a spectacular run, and Lawson Auschenbach snatches the victory away.
Heartbreak for Kleinubing, but I tell you what, if any team deserved to break us, these boys here. Eric Curran, Lawson Auschenbach, they've had so much hard luck this year. Finally, things swing their way.
We were so focused a little further back. This looked like it was a done deal. Kleinubing.
Right there.
It just blew it right there.
on the last corner.
You heard Pierre say the clutch broke on the last corner. Drive basically gone, and he's done.
Oh, my gosh.
Heartbreak and celebration from Road America. This racetrack so known for its great finishes. You just saw another one. We'll be right back.
Where did he go?
Hey guys, Pierre's team just told me that on the last lap, it was an electrical issue, and he reset the computer enough to coast in to finish third.
That really helps. That helps
big.
Liddell.
Yeah, that's
because
huge.
that also split Hinman.
Yeah, that's huge.
But he said it was electrical.
So he got
to
5
start.
points on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would have only been 3.
Yep.
So he got another 2 with Kleinubing being able to hold on to third. Is that right?
So Robin's going to get 32. Hinman's going to get 28. Right? So it's 4 points.
Well, Vine was almost going to be a factor there. He could have almost put
32
Trent
and
one more
28.
down.
Yeah. But it would have been only 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the championship lead will be 11.
I'm almost worse over that one.
I don't know how the hell Liddell did that.
I don't
Do you?
know.
I have no idea. I'm not sure he should have.
Forget at the end, but I mean, yeah. Well, he didn't run anything extraordinary. His fast lap is only at 24.5, but he must have been cutting a lot better laps than everyone there for that.
When was the last time CKS won a race?
Probably Indy.
Yeah. 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago?
I don't think they've won since then.
I don't think so either.
Yes.
Where's our TA2 guy? Cameron Lawrence.
Great driving. Ways to go. Proud of you guys. Proud of you too. Way to go.
Must have been on a downshift. Must have exploded the clutch.
Well, now they're saying it's electrical.
Why does Road America have such a great reputation? Because of great finishes like you just saw. And the next race up, Virginia International Raceway, August 31st, 10 a.m. on Fox Sports. Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge. always, always exciting. Today, absolutely spectacular finish, Chris.
Lawson Aschenbach, Eric Curran come away with the victory here. And Lawson, it just looked like that Subaru was pulling away on that final lap, but coming out of turn 14, it all came back to you. What were you thinking?
I guess it's better to be lucky than good sometimes. And I can't remember the guy's name, but we got these little pieces of paper this weekend. This guy gave me a lucky dog thing, and he told put it in my suit and hope for the best. And I guess I'll have to keep doing that. But I got to say hats off to everybody at CKS Autosport, everybody at Chevrolet, Pratt & Miller. Everybody involved in this program, they've been working so hard, all the engineers, everybody behind this. It's been a great team effort with Stevenson Autosport and so forth. But, man, to get a win, finally, get the monkey off our back, I'm really happy. And I can't thank the Chevrolet Camaro Z28R enough. I mean, it was fast. And on top of that, thanks to Continental Tire for making a great tire, a great series. We have a lot of fun here. Everybody at IMSA, just a fun day. We'll take it. Any way we can get it, we'll take it.
And Eric, your teammate says lucky and good. You guys have been good all year long, but you just haven't gotten the results. You finally break through.
We've been so good and so close and had the worst luck ever. But just like Lawson said, this team, Chevy CKS Autosport, just working so hard all season long. And we had a good run in the beginning, got up to the front, and Lawson jumped in and took it home. And just awesome. What a way to win in front of all of our fans here, all the Chevy guys. It's awesome. Very happy.
Yeah, Camaro wins at Road America.
See that lucky dog note? I've seen that been done here before, and they won. Now, take a look at the points. This changed things a lot, and Pierre Kleinubing had a lot to do with it, Calvin.
Yeah, he really did, because Pierre finished in that third spot and split Liddell and Edwards, so suddenly Liddell grabs 4 points on Trent Hinman, so championship is tightening up.
Let's head down to victory lane with our winners in ST and Jamie.
Well, for Mike Lamara and Terry Borcheller, not only your first podium of the season, but it's your first win of the season. What came together today to make this happen?
It's been coming together for a few races, just with the whole team gelling from last year's championship. We had a rough start, and we don't ever give up, and that's kind of been our mantra even through the first year being together. So I'm just really happy for the team. They've worked so hard, so many long hours at the shop. BMW gave us a phenomenal car. When you say ultimate driving machine, today was that phrase in action. I mean, the car was flawless. It was so good. Mike did such an amazing job as a starting driver, and we got some family and friends here, so it's a good day.
And they got to see that ultimate result. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a very good day. Their first win of the season, and Wayne Nonamaker up top because of Eric Foss's bad luck.
Yeah, then that was a problem there. You can't do anything. It's only 9 points, though. We're at the end of the season. This isn't over.
Well, for Lawson Aschenbach and Eric Curran, they celebrate their victory, but I'm thinking Pierre Kleinubing not quite so happy with the way things turned out, Chris.
Well, Brian, he's taking it pretty well. Had control on that restart and really started to pull away. But, Pierre, we saw you come out of turn 14. What happened with the Subaru?
Something like on the drivetrain there, like maybe clutch or a little differential. Hard to say what really happened, but really happy to give you a podium to this guy here, man. Been driving with a lot of people, and but Ray deserves, man. He's awesome, and this Continental stay in the car. Like the car keeps getting faster throughout the run, and that's what really bring this thing alive towards the end. So I'm really happy with the Compass guys. So we'll keep plugging along, maybe get a win later on.
Yeah, I think that win is just around the corner, Brian.
7 different Grand Sport driver combinations have won this year. 8 different ST driver combinations. It's just how good this competition is in the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge. And Road America, I don't know what it is about this racetrack, guys, but it always brings us finishes like this. Now, of course, the late yellow did help, but...
Well, you got long straightaways and hard braking zones, and that always makes it fun because there's always a chance to see a lot of action. We saw in the ST battle in the early going, Cameron Lawrence and Rashidi really going at it hard. That was a great battle, and it just showed that you can race here, Dorsey, and race nice and clean.
These are the type of racetracks that you love to race on. They give you enough room to get those wonderful moves done. It gets us all excited, and they put on a show. They got a great crowd here. I tell you, it's just a fun place, period.
Well, it's a fun place, but the drivers, Catherine Legg said, I don't know a lot of these guys, but some of them seem to be crazy. But when you look at the racing that went on, especially the battle for the lead in ST for a while, you can't take anything away from those guys.
No, I mean, it was fantastic racing. And, you talk about the brakes in racing, and Pierre drove the perfect race, accelerating to the line. Suddenly the car brakes. But Curran and Aschenbach, they've shown so much speed over the last couple of years. I don't think they've won since Indy a couple of years ago. So good to see those guys back in victory lane.
You see the Rum Bum Porsche being pulled away. Talk about brakes and bad luck. Some years it's yours. Some years it isn't. And right now for Rum Bum, they're struggling. But for Trent Hinman, he's struggling to hold on to his championship in Grand Smort. Thanks for joining us from Road America. It's been a fun one. It always is. For Jamie Howe, Chris Neville, Dorsey Schrader, Calvin Fish, I'm Brian Till. Thanks for joining us from Road America, the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge on Fox Sports. We'll see you next time.